Hello and welcome to Zambia Today, a program made to keep you well informed on issues that affect you and I. I am your host, Alice Banda. Now, on the program, we are looking at climate change. As you are aware, climate change is a pressing issue that has affected a lot of people globally. Zambia is not excluded. We have experienced droughts, we have experienced floods, just to mention but a few. In the studio, we are joined by Mr. Martin Mlinga, the founder and CEO of Green Cosmos, as well as Mr. Agre Wapamesa, the communications director for the same organization. And now we start with Mr. Mlengo. Let me start by welcoming you to Zani's studios.
Sure, it's our pleasure being here, madam.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mlenga, what is Green Cosmos Zambia, being the founder and CEO of this organization?
Thank you so much. So Green Cosmos is a registered youth-led environmental organization that is fostering sustainable practices in Zambia in regards to climate change mitigations as well as environmental management or environmental preservations. Yeah, so what we are into, we've got actually, as it is right now, we are working on some initiatives that are in one or the other environmentally friendly, because at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to ensure that we have a sustainable environment where everybody will live in a peaceful environment. Not only that, but also having a country which is climate change free. As it is right now, just like you had already mentioned in your preamble, that Zambia is not actually excluded from these climate change effects, and it is our duty as citizens, as well as organizations, as well as also stakeholders, just like His Excellency, our beloved President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is also calling upon stakeholders and organizations to come on board and supplement its effort in regards to climate change mitigations. So basically, that's a very short introduction of what Green Cosmos organization is all about.
Okay. I'll pose this question to Mr. Wapamesa. What programs are you working on or do you have for the Zambian people as regards climate change?
So as Green Cosmos Zambia, we are running a number of programs. One of the key programs that we are running is we are creating awareness on climate change. So we've been training youths with skills, practical skills on how we can be able to mitigate climate change. So recently we trained youths in Lusaka in collaboration with the United States Embassy. We trained 65 youths in Lusaka, then we further went on with the program in Kitwe, where we trained over 75 youths. So that's one of the major programs that we are running. Apart from that, we've been running the Keep Zambia Clean campaign. We did the cleaning in Lusaka, we did the cleaning in Kitwe, the cleaning in Livingstone. Beyond that, we are currently collaborating with Disaster Management and Mitigation Unity under the Office of the Vice President. So under this program, we are trying to create awareness among the people who are living in flood-prone areas. We are letting them know floods about to come, hence they need to prepare. We need to find better response to the floods before they actually hit our people. So we are running different programs, creating awareness. We are into disaster risk management. We are into training young people on climate change related issues. And we have more programs aligned for our youths, for the Zambian people, towards ensuring that we mitigate climate change, towards ensuring that we adapt to the impacts of climate change.
Mr. Wapamesa, maybe still, since I'm still talking to you, which other organizations are you collaborating with? I heard you mention DMMU, you mentioned, yes. Is it USAID? Which other organizations are you working with?
Apart from DMMU?
Yes.
Okay, so we are collaborating with a number of organizations. We have ICO Zambia. We are currently running tree planting activities. So we've been collaborating with this organization in ensuring that we promote the planting of trees, because we believe that trees are very important towards preserving the environment and ensuring that the environment is well cared for and protected.
Mr. Mlenga, coming to you, just elaborate more, how important are trees? Mr. Wapamesa was mentioning that you are also into tree planting. Exactly. How important are trees to, mitigating climate change?
Wow. It's very much important that as it is right now, we, in one way or the other, promote afforestation. Because just to give you a nutshell, statistics on how Zambian are cutting down trees. We are told that as it is right now, we are able to cut about 250 to 300,000 hectares of land annually in Zambia. And you know the impact of that. The reason now we are having even these floods, in as much as it may be in one way or the other natural disaster, but also trees have got also an impact on that. You speak about also the changing of weather patterns, the heat that we're experiencing. The trees have got also an impact on how best those actually can be reduced. But also, it's very much important because in one way or the other, trees are so much important and effective in regards to capturing the carbon dioxide. And as it is, it's very much important, so to speak again, that we educate our people on the importance of afforestation. The reason why Green Cosmos has actually also embarked on that journey, that at the end of the day, we as Zambians should, in one way or the other, emulate that agenda, so that we may at least not really make Zambia to be a desert, but we can be able to do one or two things. Yeah.
Mr. Wapamesa mentioned that you're also into Keep Zambia Clean campaign.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And tree planting. What other projects are you doing?
Wow, so now, you know, Green Cosmos being a new registered organization, we are just one year and some months old, but our focus so much, we are trying to see how best we can preserve our environment. You agree with me that you spoke about the Keep Zambia Clean. You agree with me that the Keep Zambia Clean was launched in 2007 by the late President Lev Patrick Mwanawasa. And ever since, the Keep Zambia Clean has been in one way or the other, been relaunched and every time. And you can also not negate the fact that all these issues to do with the cholera outbreak and the floods, more especially in Lusaka, are also linked to the Keep Zambia Clean campaign, because if at all we are able to maintain, we are able to promote the campaign and also just sustain our environment, we cannot even speak about cholera. So that's where our organization comes in, to ensure that the people of Zambia should emulate that idea of keeping the environment clean. It's not about the government, it's not about the local authorities, but we're trying to come up with that mindset where everybody will feel that ownership. So we have got, of course, just like Wapamesa earlier on mentioned, that we've got a lot of programs aligned, but our primary focus is to ensure that our environment is well sustained. And by doing that, we can only do that by uplifting the Keep Zambia Clean campaign. Yeah.
Maybe let me get it from you, Mr. Mlenga. The Keep Zambia campaign, Keep Zambia Clean campaign, has been ongoing for quite a long time. You mentioned that it started during President Mwanawasa's regime.
Exactly.
How has it been? Have the Zambians changed in attitude, the way they keep their environment, or is there any change? Because it started quite a long time.
Exactly. So maybe from the general public, we have not even we haven't actually received it the way it was supposed to be received. It has been received with mixed feelings, where people politicize everything. When the government of the day speaks about the Keep Zambia Clean, maybe they speak about the vendors. Everybody would relate it to, link it to to politics, but it's not supposed to be like that. Of course, we've got a good number of policies that speaks to environmental nuisance, but these policies, in one way or the other, are not being reinforced. They don't really work towards the way they were created for. And of course, the behavior is not that much good. Yeah, we hope that by the time we are finishing the plan that we have as an organization, definitely everybody would think that they have got a role to play, not only the government, but it's everybody's responsibility. So it has to start with our own homes, first and foremost, before we even bring it to the society, we even bring it to the community. It's very sad to note that 2023, 2024, we lost about 20,000, 700 people who were just killed because of this same quarter that we're talking about, and over 20,000 people were affected. Now imagine that pain of losing somebody you love so much just for the negligence of our own negligence of failing to keep our environment clean. No, it's not supposed to be like that. So from that, you can tell to say it is not the way it's supposed to be. there is more that we need to do. We need to do more for us to have a better Zambia. Just like Kigali, what is happening in Rwanda this time around. Rwanda is very beautiful. We can do that as Zambians as well. Not only point fingers at the government, but it has to start from me as a citizen. Exactly. So this is why Green Cosmos is really trying to supplement government's efforts, trying to bring up some source to the campaign itself. Sure.
Mr. Opamesa, I'll take you back to what you mentioned, that you were training youths in Lusaka and in Kitwe. What were you training them? What was the training all about?
So the first thing that we did was to equip youths with the basic knowledge on climate science, where we actually made them understand what really climate change is, how we human beings contribute to the problem of climate change, and how much impacts it has on us as human beings. So we ensured that we gave our youths the climate science that they needed. Then beyond that, we're like, what's the solution then? So this is where we came in with a skill on how they can be able to contribute towards mitigating climate change. So we're granting them a skill on how they can be able to utilize plastic, on how they can turn plastic into something that they can actually make an economic livelihood from. So our basic teaching really was on what is climate change, what are the impacts, and how can we be able to contribute towards creating an environment that is green, an environment that is cleaner. So our issue really has been around equipping youths with the basic knowledge of climate change and the skills that they need to ensure that we collaborate as people, as a nation, in ensuring that climate change is mitigated.
Let's pause for a break.
Sure.
In case you've just tuned in, you're watching Zambia Today, where we discuss climate change, an issue that has affected a lot of people globally, Zambia included. And as we continue with the interview, Mr. Mlenga,
Sure.
have you already started implementing or doing what you intend to do with your organization in any province or any district in Zambia?
Thank you so much for that insightful question. So the implementations has already begun. We started in Lusaka, where we were working with the district commissioner, the office of the district commissioner, as well as the DMMU last year. We are doing, like I said, our primary focus, we are so much in the environment and the waste management itself. So we've worked with the district commissioner, especially in Lusaka, and it is actually a continuous program. And then after that, we also went to Copper Belt, where we've got also a presence that side in Kidwe. So the implementation has already actually begun. Sure.
Mr. Mlenga mentioned that you are working with the district commissioners.
Exactly.
Now, the question comes to you, Mr. Opamesa. Is there, when you are working in the outside, in the rural areas,
Yes.
when you're working in the rural areas, are you engaging chiefs? And how is the response from the chiefs or headmen?
We, as Green Cosmos, we appreciate the role that the traditional leaders play in ensuring that the environment is preserved and protected. Actually, the part of the land in Zambia is actually traditional. So we cannot run away from the fact that we need them as we further this goal. Recently, we were in Namwala, we were in Monze. In Monze is Chief Hamsonde. We had a meeting with him. Before we actually met these people, we had to pay courtesy to him so that we can get more wisdom from him. And the response was really positive. Actually, chiefs are really wanting more collaboration with different organizations in ensuring that we further our goal. So as Green Cosmos Zambia, we work hand in hand with chiefs. And the chiefs that we've talked to so far, or the chiefs that we've paid the courtesy to so far, they've been really welcoming and they are ready to collaborate with us. I've given an example of Chief Hamsonde, who welcomed us in his traditional community. He welcomed us and he gave us an opportunity to interact with his people, which then shows that chiefs are ready to work with us, to collaborate with us towards furthering this goal. Because, they understand also that the impacts of climate change are very much devastating, not only to the people in urban areas, but to the rural population, especially that the rural population highly depends on agriculture for survival. And the agricultural sector is one of the most highly impacted sectors when it comes to climate change. So far, the chiefs that we've collaborated with have been very welcoming, and we really appreciate that. And we need to collaborate with more chiefs in ensuring that we mitigate and help our people adapt to the impacts of climate change.
You've been, Mr. Mlenga, you've been in existence for a year now. You mentioned that.
Exactly.
What is the expected outcome after you've done all that you intend to do?
Thank you so much. Like I earlier on mentioned, first and foremost is when we speak about the Keep Zambia Clean, waste management, what we want there is to change people's mindset towards the use of our own environment. As it is right now, people are doing injustice towards the use of our own environment. You can even sometimes you even wonder why you would see someone in a Porsche, driving a Porsche car, then just throwing litter anyhow. It's not supposed to that. That's the mindset that would want to change at the end of the day. And then when it comes to disasters, like I already mentioned, floods, the reason why we are working in the disaster management and mitigation unit, and thank God that Dr. Gabriel Pollen, his vision is very clear. At the end of the day, we would want to see a resilient Zambia when it comes to disasters. And that's also where we are trying that's the goal that we are trying to reach at. We would want to see a Zambia that is free from disasters. These unnecessary disasters that we cannot even mention. No, the sewage here has done that. No, the school has collapsed because of our own negligence of building strong infrastructures. No, the city is dirty as a result of that. The people, we have got 7 cases of cholera. We can run away from such by ensuring that we come up with preventive measures that are helpful to our people. And that's why we are trying to come up at the end of the day, what we would want is to have a Zambia that is free from disasters. Then when it comes to climate change, it's very clear. In as much as Zambia, we're not contributing much when it comes to carbon emissions, but we are the people who are facing the effects of climate change. So what do we do at the end of the day? We would want to use our own local strategies. Local strategies by planting trees. If at all we are able to plant 5 million trees by the end of 2026, then we are better off as a Zambia, and then we are assured of an international, intergenerational equity that is very safe from all these unnecessary risks that we are talking about. So our ultimate goal, our expected outcome is to have a Zambia that is free from disasters, Zambia that is climate resilience, and at the end of the day, also to have a sustainable environment where even if you just throw a kaswiti, you can pick it and continue eating it. That's what we want. Okay. Sure.
The Meteorological Department mentioned or announced that we are likely to experience floods in some areas. Mr. Wapamesa, what is your word to people who are living in flood-prone areas?
Yes, we were recently in Monze, in Namwala, because we know that the 2 districts are prone to the floods, and we know that there are other districts, and we are reminding our people that we'll be there as soon as Green Cosmos Zambia. I earlier mentioned that we are collaborating with DMMU in ensuring that we sensitize our people about the floods that are yet to come. So our message to the people who are living in flood-prone areas is, please, our people, you need to vacate. You need to begin to move to upper lands. The thing is, floods are very devastating when it comes to how much they impact our people's livelihoods. When floods hit, the livelihoods get to be lost. People get to lose their lives and all that. So our message to the people is they need to begin to move to the upper lands. Because we believe that disaster response is the responsibility of everyone. And we also believe that it is much cheaper to prevent flood than to respond to a flood when it occurs. Exactly. And this is why we're urging our citizens that are living in flood-prone areas in Lusaka, in Namwala, in Monze, in Mongu. It could be next week or the other week, we are going to Mongu. And we're going to tell our people that they need to begin to move. And this is the message that we're pushing together with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit. We are urging our people that we need, instead of spending huge chunks of funds towards floods? Why can't we get that money and spend it towards other economic issues or other developmental issues, such as constructing roads, constructing schools, you know, the free education that we have and all that. So our message to our people is begin to move away from flood-prone areas as soon as they can. And this is the message we are taking to all the districts that we are getting into through radio programs and through door-to-door campaigns, through community programs and all that. So our message is please begin to move away from the flood-prone areas to the upperlands so that we save the funds that we have today.
Do you have any addition to what
Yeah,
you
just
said?
maybe to add one or two. 2022-2023, the government spent a huge amount of money just to evacuate people who were affected by floods. I'm sure you saw what happened there in Kamwala. You saw what happened in Namwala. You saw what happened in Monze. We don't want such kind of programs to continue happening in such kind of situations. We have got a lot of things that our government should actually concentrate to, unlike responding each and every time to disasters. I appreciate the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit to its swift in regards to how they respond to disasters. They are very effective. I can actually confess that they're very much effective. But again, let's lessen the burden on our government. They have got a lot of things that we are looking at. The government spent about 12 million plus just to evacuate people from that side of such kind of places. Why can't we move before the heavy rainfall strikes so that such money were to be used to some other economical, to some other issues that we would need in the country? And like it and every time just to be responding to disasters. And then people in such kind of places, because I had interacted with a good number of people, and most of them were like, no, it's not about kukwera muri chopa. It's about your lives. A lot of people lost their properties. Speaking of kettles, in southern province, and in Zambia we love so much milk. If I do ingombe shonse shapo ku southern province, tukala senda kwesa milk. Tukali Africa ku South Africa mukushita milk yako bati tray pangira muno mu Zambia. So the message is very clear. Can you start relocating as quickly as possible before the heavy rainfall strikes? Because at the end of the day, it is your life. At the end of the day, it is also a national disaster that we are trying each and every time to run away from. Yeah.
Mr. Mlenga, have you had any positive response from your beneficiaries?
Well, just like Wapemesa earlier on spoken, we've had a good number of responses from our beneficiaries, more especially the youths that we are in one way or the other training. But again, we are limited because at the end of the day, in as much as you may have positive feedbacks, we have also feedbacks from different parts of the country where people would want us to go there, but funding are in one way or the other limiting us. Why? In as much as you may have good initiatives, but without funding, resources, it becomes a burden again. It becomes difficult for you to move and do one or two things. We are supposed to go to COP, but we couldn't be able to do so. And 5 officers from organizations were accredited, but we couldn't be able to do so. We have got also good response from the trainee, I would call them, that way, that they would want us also to go back again to Copper Belt, that we continue with our trainings, but we are failing to do so. The feedback has been positive, and we appreciate the people of Zambia, the way they have actually welcomed us, the way they have welcomed Green Cosmos, being a new organization, but we've actually made a good impact, an indelible mark for, so to speak. And just calling also upon other stakeholders who would want to partner with us, that we are very much open for collaborations. At the end of the day, supplement government's effort and bring Zambia to the way it's supposed to be. There is a need that we're supposed to do. There is a need that we people of Zambia should respond to it. But again, we need a group to affiliate yourself at least to a certain group. We are very much open to work with people who mean well to the society. Just like His Excellency, our beloved President of this great nation, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is calling upon stakeholders to supplement government's effort. It's not about politics. Climate change is real. It has affected a lot of people, millions of lives. Go in the villages, see what is happening. People have got nothing to eat because of the drought. So it is high time we people who have got something, let's see how best we can collaborate with different organizations. It may not be Green Cosmos, but also other organizations. Go there and work with them. It is very much important, and it is needed as it is right now. Sure.
Mr. Wapamesa, any closing remarks as we draw close to the end of our program?
Yes, we would really wish to extend our gratitude to our partners. That includes the government of Zambia, through the Office of the Vice President, DMMU, the U.S. Embassy, the American Corner, who've been really helpful towards ensuring that we train our youths towards how best they can contribute in mitigating climate change. And we want to appreciate the Zambian people, the people of Monze, the people of Namwala, the people of Mongu, the people of Lusaka, the people of Copper Belt. We are urging you, if you are living in flood-prone areas, we are urging you to begin to relocate to upper lands, because the impacts of floods are really devastating to your well-being, to our well-being as a nation. Let's collaborate, let's unite, let's work together towards ensuring that we promote a Zambia that is resilient, a Zambia that is cleaner, a Zambia that is clean, and ensuring that we further the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, climate action.
Mr. Mlenga, your closing remarks. He addressed the people in the southern and the central Lusaka. Maybe you have a message for people in the central province as well as the northern part of Zambia.
For me, I would just go upon the general public. It not be in central province, but everywhere across Zambia. Disaster management is everyone's responsibility. However, there is a way that we can be able to run away from these disasters. To the people who are getting contracts from the government, who are building infrastructures, it is very sad to note that some of the infrastructures were blown off because of the flood, were blown off because of the, not just the air and so on and so forth. Ensure that you build strong schools, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't want to have unnecessary disasters. And then to the people of Zambia again, when you talk about Keep Zambia Clean campaign, Keep Zambia Clean campaign is not only for the government, but it's for all Zambians. It's high time we came on board, supplement government's effort, and run away from these unnecessary diseases. Cholera, sugar. We're talking about cholera even now, 2024, 2025, talking about cholera. I urge everyone, I appeal to each and every person in Zambia, let's ensure that at least in your area where you stay, we don't have cases of cholera. I think we can start from there. Before we even point on the government to say, no, Niba president, Niba Chani, where you are staying, what are you doing to ensure that at the end of the day, we run away from these other diseases that we're talking about? So sanity should start from my place before I even bring it to the community. So let's ensure that we keep ourselves, our surroundings clean. We run away from these other unnecessary diseases that we are actually talking about. And also to the youths, we've got a role to play in ensuring that we bring about a paradigm shift in the climate change sector. There are so many ways that we can be able to beat climate change, to mitigate climate change, come up with innovations. The reason we've gone to the universities to study and do what and what, you should not each and every time just be waiting for a company to call you. You can start up something wherever you are, so that at the end of the day, we bring up a resilient Zambia. Sure.
Mr. Mlenga and Mr. Wapamesa, thank you for coming to our studios and speaking to us about climate change and its importance.
It's been our pleasure, madam. Thank you so much. Looking forward to come here again.
Okay. Cleanness begins with me. That is what I picked from what Mr. Mlenga mentioned. And indeed, dear viewers, this is where we end our program. On the program, we discussed climate change with Green Cosmos Zambia, an organization working with DMMU under the Office of the Vice President. And also, of course, they were telling us what they are doing to help the situation as regards climate change. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.